Hello, everybody. Joe here. Yes, I know. Been I think away for a few game weeks now due to a little bit um, some personal issues, some family health issues, but all is good now. Everybody's healthy, everybody's happy, and we are back. And finally, after the international break, we are back. We are back, and it's game week 9 of the Fantasy Premier League. And yeah, hope everyone had a good break. Personally, I had a good break, not too bad. My team was not. I wildcarded before the international break, so there was nothing much to worry about my team. Thankfully, players all made it back in one piece, um, and so yeah, it's been good. So let us dive into game week 9. So let's look at the fixtures. Okay, so this is game week 9. Sorry, this is not game week 9. Oh no, what have gone wrong? Let me just whip up game week 9 really quick. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is game week 9. Let me just make it. Yep. So the first game we're gonna have an early kickoff between Liverpool and Everton. It's the Merseyside derby, so it's going to be interesting. Usually Merseyside derbies, they are pretty tight, but sometimes things might swing for one team um, over another. But nonetheless, it's going to be an exciting game, and I know what you're thinking. Early kickoff, curse of Gandhi, but let us put that aside first as we go through the other fixtures. The second one is then the 3 p.m. games or 10 p.m. in Malaysia are the Bournemouth versus Wolves. We have Brentford versus Burnley. We have Man City versus Brighton. We have Newcastle versus Palace. Nottingham Forest versus Luton. And then after that, the one later on is going to be Chelsea versus Arsenal, another big game. Then on Sunday we are going to have Sheffield United versus Man United. Then we have Aston Villa versus West Ham, and we're going to have Spurs. We're going to end with Spurs versus Fulham. So these are the game week 9 fixtures. I think particularly interesting ones. The big games are probably going to be, for FPL terms at least, it's going to be Liverpool versus Everton. And another one, interesting one, is going to be Man City versus Brighton. And of course, in football terms, um, the Chelsea versus Arsenal is going to be a huge one. And also there is Villa versus West Ham, and then the Spurs versus Fulham one is going to be interesting as well for FPL managers. Yeah. So yep. So that's the game week 9 fixtures. So this is my current team at the moment. I think we are just slightly below 2 hours to the deadline. And this is actually my game week 8 wildcard team. I've not touched anything, and I think it looks good personally. Of course, it's my own team. So yeah. So currently, Haaland is on the captaincy, um, and I think the other players probably speaks for themselves. I have triple Spurs. I have Cash and Watkins, Bowen and Neto and Salah. The only interesting one I would say is Strakosha. I'm not sure whether I pronounced his name properly. Strakosha is someone. I mean, initially I picked him on a game week 8 wildcard. Firstly, because I'm looking for a 3.9 million goalkeeper, and I was a Flecken owner before I wildcarded, so I wasn't convinced at all. Um, and I just put him there because I put Strakosha there because who knows if Flecken continues to not perform as well, Strakosha might have a chance. So that's what I thought, and end up this Flecken got appendicitis and he was down, he's ill, and Strakosha had to play versus Man United, and I think he did pretty decently, 6 saves, and looking back at his previous record, he's not too shabby at all. He plays for Albania national team. He plays, I think he plays for Lazio, I think, yeah, for a few seasons as a first choice goalkeeper, and so he's my team. Yes, Flecken is back. Flecken is fit. Flecken is in training, but who knows? Strakosha might get another chance against Burnley. But either way, if he doesn't, I have Areola coming in. Not ideal because I have Watkins and Cash playing against him. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so it's fine. My bench, yeah, expected. If I mean in game week 8 wildcard, I was going for like full force first 11, so hence a little bit very light, I would say, on my bench. Oh, so we have a few people who are here with us. Mo says lagging a bit. Is it still lagging now, Mo? Is it still lagging? I think I'm not sure what's going on. Recently, my house, or at least in our country, we sort of had like a nationwide upgrade in terms of the bandwidth, so to say, in terms of the download speeds. But I do notice it was lagging a bit yesterday as well. So yeah, it's still lagging. Sorry, Mo. I'm not sure what I can do now. It's already live, but hope you can still hear me. It's yeah. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Hope my internet will be better soon. I think it was just it's a phase where our country, the biggest nationwide internet provider in the country, is making some upgrades in terms of the download speeds, but not really on the upload speeds. I that's what I noticed. So probably that's why it's still lagging. But hope you can hear me. Probably my movements are a little bit laggy, but hope you can hear me. Yeah, Chewy, welcome to the stream. Good to have you with us. I mean, with me today. So today is the first time I'm doing this solo. So forgive me if I'm a little bit clumsy today. But yeah, so far so good. So yeah, so this is my team at the moment. We still have 2 hours. Who knows what's going to happen? There is some rumors of weather issues in the UK. I'm not a weather expert, and I'm not in the UK. In fact, I'm on the other side of the planet. I'm in Malaysia right now. So, yeah, all I can do is wait for latest news. There are rumors coming out from Liverpool that the Merseyside derby, it's in doubt. But there are fans or people living in that area says it's nonsense. It's going to go ahead. I mean, how can you postpone the Merseyside derby, right? So yeah, so we can only wait for news. So yeah, so that's my team. Rolling my free transfers because game week 10. Later we're going to have a look at game week 10. I'm preparing to bring in some Arsenal assets because they're playing at home. They're playing at home against Sheffield United, which is arguably the worst performing team at the moment, not just in defense but also in attack. So yeah, so they are probably the teams that we should all be targeting at the moment. But unfortunately, I don't have any Man United assets this week. But then again, Sheffield United home and away. I guess home they are more resilient so to speak. They even sort of almost kept Man City quiet, and also they also almost kept Spurs quiet. I mean, they did kept Sun quiet. So yeah, hoping United assets. Sorry if you own United assets. Hoping them to blank again this game week. So yeah. So now next we are going to look at some dilemmas of the week. Of course, the biggest dilemma every week that we face is captaincy. But I don't know. Personally, since the international break, my captaincy, I would say my bus team captaincy has always been on Haaland. I wasn't really swayed on shifting the armband around, but it was always been on Haaland. And this is an article in Fantasy Football Hub by our friend Chris Tan. So yeah, so this is a summary of his article. He says Erling regains his crown. He's an absolute beast at home. I agree. And Brighton are happy to attack anyone, which should lead to a nice open game. So yeah, Brighton they're doing well in their attack, but defense not so. So whether will they continue that trend against the defending champions? We'll see. And then again, Man City they have Rodrigo back. They have Stones fit again. Not sure whether he start, but I think he should start, which is a big boost for Man City, and especially Rodrigo back from his suspension. I can see them winning this comfortably. Whether would they clip a clean sheet? I don't know. Maybe not. So yeah. So Salah is a solid second choice, but a derby can be unpredictable. And then again, yes, he's no longer a dominant XG player for Liverpool. I think so far, dominant XG player will probably be between Jota, Diaz, or Darwin. But of course, if Darwin plays more, he's going to hog those XG. So Salah is number 2, and the interesting one in this is Trippier, number 3, probably because of their defensive stats as well, of the clean sheet potential against Burnley. This is from Chris Tan, FF Hub. This is their predicted points from Fantasy Football Hub. Haaland is number 1 at 8.6. Number 2, interesting, is Son. But then again, between Son and Salah, very close. It's only 0.1 predicted point difference, mainly because Son has a lower expected minutes compared to Salah. And so yeah, and these 3 are probably far ahead of the next 2, which is Madison and Bruno. So yeah, so Fantasy Football Hub also tips Salah as the first choice. So this is by Draft Hound. We have they put Salah as number 1, but then again, Salah and Haaland is very close in terms of expected points. And interestingly, they put Trippier as number 3 above Son, and Son and Madison is the same at 6.6. So take this with a pinch of salt. To me personally, I feel Salah is a good captaincy choice this week against Everton at home. But then again, will he outscore Haaland? Remains to be seen. Because there are weeks where Salah is a good captaincy shout, but Haaland might not be as good as other fixtures, but not this fixture. To me personally, not this fixture. Haaland at home against Brighton is really it's almost as good as it can get. Yeah. So my armband, personally, I still feel it should be on Haaland. Then we look at the next. This is from our friend in All About FPL. I love their captaincy matrix analysis. This is almost my go-to metric every week. Last game week, they put Salah as number one, which actually sways me to lean on Salah as captaincy for the last game week, and it paid off pretty massively. So this game week they tipped Haaland as the first choice, but to be honest, Haaland and Salah here is really close. Cumulative rank factor of only one, the difference of only one. So it's I would say it's almost like a 50-50 coin toss kind of thing. But for me, what sways me on Haaland also is because of his ownership. So let's just put this in a few scenarios. Let's say both Salah and Haaland get double-digit points. Maybe like one get 10 or another one gets 12 points. It probably doesn't really matter. The points doesn't, it's really close, so it doesn't really matter who you captain. And yeah, but let's say because Salah is much lower owned than Haaland, right? Haaland, I think, currently his ownership has dropped below 90% after many weeks. His price even dropped by 0.1 from 14.1 to 14 million now. But we can definitely expect his effective ownership to go up above 100%, probably even 150 to 160%. But Salah, probably he is about, I don't know, maybe 50 over the 60% effective ownership. So let's say if Haaland hauls and Salah blanks, Haaland hauls and Salah blanks. If we put the captaincy on Salah, we will definitely get a huge red arrow. But let's say if Salah hauls and Haaland blanks, and our captaincy is on Haaland, we will still get a green arrow, a smaller green arrow, but it's still a green arrow because Salah is below 100% effective ownership. So this is still like a playing safe kind of thing. But when both have good fixtures, I tend to lean on the one that is more highly owned, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's we have a few questions right now. So since I'm doing it solo today, I'll answer the question immediately, or we'll interact. So this is by Run Farm, our friend in the Gameweek Navigators as well. He said, "How much do you trust Gandhi, Zhou? I've been trying to get him entire week, but he refuses to pick my call." So, I mean, like I say, it's not really like a Gandhi thing this game week. It's more like playing it safe. If both have good fixtures, I would probably lean on the one that is lesser owned. But then again, yeah, Gandhi thing, it's like a internal insider joke. Never back the early kickoff. But then again, the last time Salah played the early kickoff, it was against Wolves, and he got 10 points in that. So yeah, I probably wouldn't be worried about Gandhi if on an asset like Salah. So yeah, if your gut feel tells you to go Salah, even though you have Haaland, by all means go ahead. It's definitely an upside move. Definitely an upside move that will help you gain your ranks faster. It's just for me this week, I have my other players that are relatively having good fixtures as well, so they can probably be the players that can help me gain those rank. Aditya, our friend, one of the contributors here in Gameweek Navigators as well, he says my face cam is a bit small. Yeah, I was using the smaller one just now because I just want to, because there were a lot of words on the screen. So yeah. Neto versus Mitoma on a wildcard. Okay, this is an interesting one. Um, if let's say you're wildcarding this game week, I would, yeah, Mitoma. I'm wearing Mitoma shirt now. So I will probably go for Mitoma this wildcard this game week because probably we'll look at it later on as well as in game week above. I mean after game week 10, Brighton fixtures are really improving, and but then again, Mitoma rested. I think was benched or rested. Then Deserby mentioned about him being fatigued. Um, but I would say the international break helped him recover as well. So, and he's a really important player for Brighton. Even extended his contract. I think yesterday, to 2027. So if I'm on a wild card on this game week, I'll probably go for Mitoma. But Neto is still a really good asset to own throughout the game weeks. If you're having if you want a player that can rotate with another bench player and still relatively cheap, probably Neto is also a good asset to have in your team. I think he's only like what 5.8 at the moment or 5.9, I'm not sure, but still relatively cheap to rotate, and he has been finding his form so far this season, also attracting interest from big teams like Arsenal, even Liverpool. So yeah, you can even own both on a wild card. Both are good assets. Run farm again. Saliba, Colwill, Guardiola. Pick 2 to start. Okay, interesting. Okay. I think Saliba. This probably will go through later on as well. I think Saliba. Arteta mentioned he's sort of like injury doubt or fatigue or things like that. Need to see during training. But then Saliba is a really important player for Arsenal. I don't think he will be benched or rested. Colwill, definitely he's going to start. But the thing is, Saliba plays against Colwill. If you play both of them or either of them, you're banking on a 0-0. Personally, I can see goals in that game, but not really high scoring. Maybe like a 1-1 or 2-1 kind of thing. Guardiola against Brighton is also tricky because Brighton, they are good. Tough question. Run farm, tough question. Probably if you ask me, probably personally, I would probably go for Saliba and Guardiola, bench Colwill, but that's just me. Our friends from FPL Jedi Show, should we field Arsenal defenders this week if we have any? Really depends on which Arsenal assets. Gabriel or I don't know, Gabriel, White or Saliba. Depends on who's your bench as well, or who's going to come in if you don't field them. But I mean, if they are still decent players to play this week. It's just it depends on who are your alternatives. But if you can bench, personally, if I can bench, I'll probably bench. Like let's for example say Matty Cash against Saliba. Who would you bench? I'll probably bench Saliba. In that case. Rumours for Diaz to be benched. Any 1 week punts? Okay, interesting. I did not see this rumor going around. Not sure why he's to be benched. I think he's very important for them to be benched. And against a team like Brighton, unless it's for Stones. 1 week punts. You're looking at about 5.5 probably million. Maybe Newcastle defender Fabian Shah, maybe. Who else? Let me just look at the fixtures again. Liverpool, you have Tsimikas Yeah, I know many say they're concerned of what Klopp say. Simicast cannot play every game. Understandable coming from Klopp because firstly, Simicast, but then Klopp also mentioned that Simicast is the most experienced backup at the moment over Gomez, over even the younger players. But understand from Klopp why he said that because Simicast did not play much before this, coming in only probably from the bench cameo and things. He didn't really play full matches week in week out for Liverpool. So probably um, Klopp also wants to protect him, ease him in to play more. But I would think Simicast will play the more important ones, the more important games like the Premier League games, and maybe rotate in the cup games or even the Europa League games. Yeah, but either way, I can see Simicast definitely get much more minutes than previously. Um, but yeah, because we also need to be aware of his expected minutes. But I can see Simicast probably, if you're talking about 1 week punts, probably Simicast this week he should play against Everton. But then again, it depends on your bench as well. Do you have who are your bench if Diaz is really to be bench? Who are your defenders in your bench? But Simicast is one of them, one of the players I can see, to punt. Uh, yeah, Newcastle, you can punt on them as well. Man United, you can punt on Man United if you trust them enough, and you really don't rate Sheffield United. I think Darlow is a good shout this week. Even Region, yeah, Region it's decent shout. Of course, depends on the Nottingham versus Luton match whether go ahead or not. If it does go ahead, Willie Bolly, that's a good shout as well. He does likes to be there, scoring or in the goal scoring positions during set pieces. I think that's a pretty decent shout as well. So yeah, Newcastle defender, um, Man United defender, Dalo or Region, um, Simicas, Bolly. Oh, I forgot one more. Um, let's see, one more. Spurs. If you don't have Poro or Udogi, maybe one of them. Yeah. So that's another one you can consider. Yep. Final question for Run Farm. Then I have to go. Sure. Diaz, Liverpool, or Wisa? Pick one to start. Okay, interesting. Pick one to start. Wow. I will play both if I can. But then, of course, it depends on the team news, which we will probably get in an hour's time. But yeah, I will play both if I can. You must have a really great bench if you're thinking to choose between one of them. But if both starts, probably Diaz or Wisa. Mo, I have Gehi on a bench, so probably need to make a transfer. Okay, Gehi against Newcastle away. I mean, Gehi, to be honest, he's not a bad player to play week in week out as well. So if you really don't have other fires to put out, I mean, if you have other fires to put out, he's not too bad of a shout or not too bad of a player to play this week. If you can. Another one is why not get another Man City defender if Diaz is really going to be benched. Walker maybe. Yeah, Kyle Walker. I think he if he attacks if Brighton allows him to attack on the right side. I think Lamptey is also out. Estupinan is definitely out. So who's playing on the left? I don't know. But if Walker continues to get those freedom and those spaces to bomb the right flank, he's not a bad shot as well for this game week. Yep. So that's all the questions so far. Oh, Aditya, Udogi and Neto or Mitoma and Region. Oh, wow. Personally, I would probably go if you're on a wild card. I'll probably go for Arsenal defender. Because next week they're playing against Sheffield United, so you might not get immediate returns this game week, but definitely the game weeks to come. Mitoma and more probably Gabriel, if you can. Region, yeah, it's not too bad of a choice as well. But it's United. They are a bit shaky, but Region, I think I prefer Dalo over Region if you can. But definitely Arsenal defender if you don't have for the wild card. Oh, you have Gabriel. Okay. If you can afford Dalo, then probably Mitoma and Dalo. Because I think Spurs fixtures after the what do you call that? After this is probably not as good as previous. Let's just see. Fixtures. They have Crystal Palace, then they have Chelsea, then they have Wolves, then they have Villa. Probably Crystal Palace is still decent, but after that it's pretty attacking teams. Then they have Man City, West Ham, and Newcastle. So it's a bit tricky for them after that. Whereas if let's look at Dalo. Yeah, Man United, quite good. After that, they have Sheffield United this week, of course. Then they have Man City, the tough one. Then they have Fulham, Luton, Everton. Pretty good run of fixtures after that. So, yeah, Dalo 4.9. It's a bit expensive. Region is only 4.4. Okay. Why not Tsimikas then? Tsimikas is also 4.4, and yeah, Liverpool getting pretty good fixtures, except the Man City one, and it's until game week 16. I would think Tsimikas is not a bad choice as well. But yeah, prefer Mitoma over Neto. Let me show you why. I think Brighton fixtures are really good after this. Look at game week 10. They have Fulham, then they have Everton, and then they have Sheffield United, Forest. Yeah. Short term looks good. Neto pretty decent also. But then again, Brighton, they have a few. How should I say? They have their cup games and they have their Europa games. So it's a bit tricky. Who knows? Mitoma might be kept for the tougher games in the Europa League. But I think it's a very important. He's a very important player for them. I mean, you can even see him coming off the bench and just scoring, goals like the ones we had, I think 2 game weeks ago. So I would still lean on Mitoma over Gabriel, over Neto. So that's my take at the moment. Let's see. Yeah. So let us get back to captaincy. So yeah, so that's back to the captaincy. So that's why I'm leaning on Haaland at the moment. Like I said, due to the effective ownership. Not really on Gandhi. Gandhi is just like a insider joke, like a you know content, so to say. Okay. So yeah. So these is some of the tips that I put out, I think, yesterday night. Good game week to punt if you're on wildcard on game week 10, which we'll look at later on. Last chance from Bremo. Prepare a route for Arsenal assets on game week 10. Leave your transfer till late. I think now it's pretty late. We still have about less than 1.5 hours. But yeah, if you can, wait for 1 or more hour at least to make your transfers. Rodri and Stones are back, so Man City will make a statement after 2 losses. What kind of statement, we'll see. But I expect them to bounce back this game week. Last chance for the Bruno, Fernandes, and Rashford combo against Sheffield United. Some differentials. Kulusevski, a second Liverpool attacker, depends on the team news. Diaz, Jota, or Darwin. Huang Hee-chan, electric. Overperforming, yes. Shot conversions, percent higher so far in the league. But will he continue? We don't know. When will it end? We don't know. Could he score this week? Yeah, why not? But he's cheap to punt on, I feel. And he's currently I would say the top scorer for Wolves at the moment. He and Neto linking really well. So yeah. In terms of penalties, who's going to take Neto, Huang, or Cunha? To be honest, even Wolves fans probably don't know exactly the answer at the moment. But Cunha did take the last penalty they had. I think it was on pre-season or something. So yeah. Højlund is another good punt this week against Sheffield United because he is getting those chances. He is getting to really good positions, and his hold up play, his link up play is good, and he had a good international, not a break for him, but he had a good international games for Denmark. So if he starts, he is going to be at the end of most of those chances. So he's also another good player to punt on. If you have Turner, put Turner over Areola if you have. Play Chelsea, Arsenal, Villa, West Ham attackers, but bench their defense if you can. I think I mentioned it just now, if you can. But if you can't, then they are still definitely decent players to put on. Okay, captaincy shout, number 1 for me is Haaland, number 2 is Salah, number 3 is Son. Son mainly because of his expected minutes, and I wouldn't say injury doubt, but he did have some difficulty, although he did assist one and score one for Korea's second game, but he looked a little bit uncomfortable during the game, especially after the first half. So these are some of my tips. Okay. Yeah, some more chat coming in. Saka or Madison this week? Personally, if you have to choose one, I would go for Madison. But if you can, play both. Arteta was really defensive, I would say, keeping his cards close. He didn't say much about Saka. He just said, we will see. Training, we will see. But based on what we see previously, if Saka can play, he should play. He did withdraw. He did withdraw from the England squad during the international break, so he had a 2-week break. But yeah, definitely wait for more team news. But if you have to choose one, I would probably choose Madison. Suncup, our friend, Gameweek Navigators, Remember, it's taking hit to get 2 defenders. Okay, Zhou, just to have 11 players. Wow, I did not know anyone couldn't field 11 players this game week. Um, it really depends on who those 2 defenders are. Are they really attacking players? And is this hit going to be players that you're going to keep playing for the next few game weeks? So if it is, then probably it's okay to take hits. But yeah, I need to know who are there, who are they in the first place. If you can. So yeah, we wait for your reply. Okay. Another one is team news. Team news from all about FPL, everything in one place. So, like I said, in the Arsenal team news, Arteta didn't review much. He only said Saka has been working so hard to be fit for this game. Let's see where he is today. I don't know if he can work hard to be fit. Seems to me he's fit. That's just my take on it. Saliba, hopefully not a serious injury, carrying that for a few weeks now. We had to use that time to settle, and we believe it was the best moment to do that. I think he will feature. Personally, I think he will feature because against Chelsea, it's not an easy game. Robertson need a surgery for his dislocated shoulder, and we're out for 3 months. 3 months is a long time. He's definitely not going to play this year anymore. Which is why the topic of Tsimikas it's so hot at the moment. But yeah, like I said, if you watch what Klopp actually said in the video, he said Tsimikas cannot play all games. He did say Joe Gomez can play those games. Those young players coming in and they train really hard and things like that. But then he also added that Tsimikas is the most experienced. So for me, Tsimikas will probably play the more important games, which is the Premier League games, and the other less important games. I wouldn't say a less important games. You know what I mean. Probably other players will get a chance. Cody Gakpo has trained once with the team, so we have to see. Stefan and Thiago still out. Ben Doak has a little muscle thing. Klopp also mentioned the South American players. They learned from the previous lesson and they charter better flights for them to come back. So they were more, I would say, refreshed. And they all appeared in training when they came back. Spurs, no issue for all players coming back from international break. Bentancur back in full training. This is huge for Spurs, because he was a really influential and important player for them. So, but definitely he'll be eased back into the team. So we see how his impact is with Spurs. Interesting one. Isak hasn't trained with Newcastle yet. So expected Wilson to start. And he's also a good punt if you want to go for a punt this week. Botman improving. And the 2 game weeks has been good for him. Will he start? I don't know. Doesn't sound as convinced. Doesn't sound convincing, or maybe Eddie Howe just want to keep things close to himself. Willock progressing well, but game week 9 might be too soon. Man City has a fully fit squad against Brighton, except KDB. So that means Alvarez will still feature definitely. Rodrigo back, huge one. Palmer not on Chelsea's injuries list, so he should be available. James back in training. Will he start? I don't know. Personally, for me, I think he'll be at the bench because he's just too fragile at the moment. Yeah. Brighton, everyone is available except Stupinan, Lemty, and Enciso. Although I did see a photo of Enciso starting a little bit of light training, so once he's back and fully fit, he's going to be an interesting player to watch as well. Crystal Palace, Eze is still out. Others. Reguilon likely to be back for the Sheffield United game. Casemiro out with a minor issue. Amrabat back. Yep. So Bournemouth probably skip. Villa, no fresh injuries. West Ham, everyone is okay. Except, yeah, Ben Johnson and Cresswell to be assessed. I think for Forest, Awoniyi still a doubt. He will still be out for this game. Interesting puns, probably looking at Gibbs White, Keller Hudson-Odoi, or even Ilanga. Yeah. Fulham, yeah, skip. Burnley, skip. Everton, yeah, the usual. Brentford, Flecken is back. Flecken is back and available. But will he start? I don't know. Most probably he will. But don't know. Maybe it's just a bias as owner bias. I still think Strakosha should be given another chance. Wolves, couple of issues, but Gary O'Neill refused to name them. Okay, a bit concerning. So take that with a pinch of salt. So yeah, Luton, Anderson out, Bell still out. Townsend could feature. Not sure how Townsend, after quite a long time, and he signs with Luton for a short-term deal. Whether will he play immediately or bench or fringe player? He's 5 million in FPL. One to monitor for me. Yep. So yeah. So that's all for Game Week 9 at the moment for me. Any Q&As? Any more Q&As, guys? If you have, you can put in a chat, and I'll proceed to another interesting one, which is Game Week 10 Wildcard Draft. So this is some of the fixtures that I've compiled. This is using Fantasy Football Hub fixture. I would say fixture planner or fixture ranker. So overall fixtures, you're looking about let me just put this. Yeah, overall fixtures. One of the top few fixtures, the top teams that have good fixtures from Game Week 10 to 16, probably Brighton, Palace, Arsenal, Wolves, and Liverpool. But this is talking about overall. In terms of attacking fixtures, Brighton is top. Palace, Eze out is a huge miss. So I'll probably avoid Palace attackers at the moment. Arsenal attackers for me is a must during this run of fixtures. Fulham, not really. I mean, because now we are looking purely at fixtures, but Fulham, they are not doing that well themselves. So which is why you can see the star here is only 2.5 star in terms of attacking and 1.5 star in defense. So I probably won't consider them in a moment. Wolves, Wolves. I think you are looking at players like Huang or Neto. Neto. So these are probably the two players that I'll consider if you want to have at least one Wolves player. In terms of defensive, we have Brighton, Arsenal, Palace, Liverpool, and Wolves. So Brighton is still up there in terms of defense, but for me personally, Estupinan is probably the only defender I would pick from the Brighton team. Maybe Dunk, but personally I would prefer to go for Arsenal players. We have a question from Marcus. Risk starting Strakosha and hope he starts, or just start Areola? Personally, I'm starting Strakosha because if he starts, you get his points. If he doesn't start, you get Areola's points. So I'm personally starting Strakosha. My bench is Areola, so that's what I'm doing. Mo, Martinelli or Jesus for Game Week 10 wildcard. Okay, interesting. I think Gabriel Jesus price drop as well. Yeah. But at the moment, I think forwards slots are quite precious. You have Haaland there, of course. You have players like Watkins. You have Alvarez. Um, yeah. So both are good, definitely. But I might lean on Martinelli on this. I assume this is going to be pair with Saka. Yeah. So maybe I will lean on Martinelli for this case. Okay. So this is sort of like back to the game week 10 wildcard draft. This is sort of like some notes I put on. I put up. Team with good fixtures overall. You're looking at Brighton, Arsenal, Liverpool. Of course, you still have your core teams to target, like Newcastle, especially the defense. You have Man City, attack. And then of course Arsenal, Liverpool. The defenders to get is probably Arsenal, and I would probably be interested to bring in one Palace defender. Either I don't know, either Johnston goalkeeper or Anderson, or maybe even Gahey. Maybe one, yeah. Attack sprinkled with a bit of Wolves, with a bit of United, even Forest if you fancy them, and Villa, of course. Great enablers like Simicas, Cole Palmer, Solskjaer. Solskjaer is interesting because recently there were a few analysis being done on his positioning. Seems like he there was a time, I think was it 2 seasons ago, where he was in almost everyone's team because him banging the goals in. He's playing not really like a defensive. I think with Alvarez in a West Ham team, so Solskjaer probably has more freedom to go forward. And could he be the repeat of the Solskjaer that we saw 2 seasons ago? Or 2 or 3 seasons ago, I can't remember. But yeah, at 4.9 million, he's definitely a good enabler if you're looking to bring in Mo Salah or big hitters like Saka, Bruno Fernandes, or even Rashford with your team. Yeah. More questions coming in. Great. FPL FMZ going to wildcard in 10. Need a 1 week punt. Option 1, Morris to Solanke or Wissa. Option 2, Estupinan to Poro and play 4-5-1. Play Turner or Onana. Okay, for option 1, personally, I like Solanke. I don't know, it's just a bias in me, but I think for me, Solanke at home playing against Wolves, it's not a bad fixture at all. He is still getting his chances, Solanke, and he's on penalties and he plays 90 minutes week in, week out. So my choice is Solanke, especially if you have Mbeumo. Yeah. Option 2, Estupinan to Poro. I like that. I like that a lot as well. But personally, I would prefer to go for an attacker, to punt for an attacker rather to punt for a defender if you're talking about a 1 week punt. Yeah, you get what I mean. Number 3, play Turner or Onana. Tough one. Personally, I'll play Turner because firstly, it's a home game for them. So I'll go Turner over Onana. Palace, good fixture all away, not that exciting. Let us look at that. Defensive. Let us look at the away. So they have Burnley away, Everton at home. I think that's pretty good. Luton away, West Ham away, Bournemouth at home. I think that's pretty good as well. But yeah, I mean, it's not really probably a defender to rotate with your other defenders. Not exactly a defender that you can. I mean, you can still play them week in, week out. They did well. They did kept a clean sheet against United. So yeah, I don't think they are a team to be trifled with. They have good stats so far in terms of their attacking and defense. But Eze being out really affected them a lot. Marcus, game week 10, wildcard, which three mids would you drop? Salah, Saka, Martinelli, Son, Madison, Bowen, Diaby, Mitoma. I'll probably drop Son. I'll probably drop Martinelli. And I'll probably drop Diaby if you have Watkins. So those are the three mids I'll probably drop. This is an interesting one. Thoughts of my team. Current team. Onana and Turner. Okay. Then they have Trippier, Guardiola, Anderson. I assume Anderson, Palace Anderson, Baldock, Osula, Udogi, Saka, Fernandes, Mbeumo, Kulusevski, Madison, Haaland, Alvarez. Let's see. I assume you're gonna play Turner as your goalkeeper. Defenders probably play Trippier, Guardiola, and Udogi. That's three defenders. Then you play Saka, Fernandes, Mbeumo, Kulusevski, Madison. Okay, interesting. And then you play Haaland and Alvarez. Need a 1 week punt. Have one free transfer and wildcarding 10. Need a 1 week punt. Oh, tough one. I'll probably sell Saka. Yeah, because Saka is playing against Chelsea, and whether does he play is still a question mark. 1 week punt, you can go for, I don't know, Foden. Yeah, Foden, or I don't think you can. You already triple on Spurs. Neto, Huang Hee-chan. Let's see. Who can you punt? Diaby or Bowen or Liverpool. Definitely Liverpool's second attacker. Diaz or Jota, whoever starts. That's a great punt. There you go. Saka to Diaz if he starts. Or Foden. Triple up on City. But I would probably go for Diaz if Diaz starts, because you don't have any Liverpool asset in this game week. Ibrahim Studio. I'm keen to use bench boost. Need to swap Morris 5.5 million to other. In my bank, I have 1.7 million. Who is the best striker who can join my attacking side? Do you have Haaland? If you have Højlund. Wow. Haaland and Højlund. Edouard or Antonio, is that okay? Nah. You have 1.7 in the bank. You have 5.5 million. Go for Alvarez. Alvarez, I think he's what? You can go for Alvarez. Why not? 7.1 million. You can afford him. 5.5 plus 1.7, unless my mathematics fails, is 7.2, right? Yeah. Alvarez. 7.2. I don't think you can afford Darwin if he starts. Nah, you can't afford Darwin. But you can afford Alvarez. Why not? I don't think you can afford. I don't think you can afford Wilson. Nah, too expensive. Let me just put on forwards. Solanke, yeah, good shout, but I will go for Alvarez. If I were you, I will go for Alvarez. Already reached limit for City player. Oh dear. Okay, that put things to perspective. Uh, oh, oh dear. Let's see. Gakpo is out. Hmm. Not many choices. Oh, what a shame! You can't go for Alvarez. Eduard, not really recommended playing against Newcastle away. Wissa, yeah, Wissa home against Burnley. Solanke, probably Wissa and Solanke, or Solanke, yeah. Lyle Foster is not a bad shout as well. If you really want to go there, he's not a bad shout. So yeah, unfortunately, that's all I have. Let me see page number 2. Who else? Nobody. Nobody convincing. Yep. Wissa or Solanke. Probably these two. Because you only have like what 7.2 million. Start Onana or Turner? Turner. I would start Turner. Oh, okay. Back to the Game Week 10 wildcard. So, if I'm on a wildcard on Game Week 10, I'll probably put out this team. Yeah, ignore Lemty. I think because it's only 3.9, you can go for another player. But yeah, my you can go for another player to rotate with Anderson. So let's see who can you afford. Defenders, you got 4.8. I mean, yeah, you can find for someone at 1.8, but the attacker is probably like this: Salah, Mitoma, Saka, Bruno, and Neto. Then Haaland and Watkins is still gonna be your main strikers. And then your defenders, maybe Trippier is there. You have Gabriel, Taylor, and maybe instead of Lamptey, someone else to rotate with Anderson. Sufal is not too bad. Yeah, or you want a Villa defender, maybe. I mean, cash is too expensive. If you want to go there, you can go for Dean. So yeah, so this is probably the wildcard 10 draft, something like this. Or you can go for United defender if you want to rotate with Anderson. But yeah, so this is the wildcard 10, Game Week 10 wildcard team. Let me just put it in a smaller size so you can see the full team. Yep. Why I put Areola, I still think he's the best value goalkeeper in the game at the moment. He's doing really well for West Ham based on some of the research I've done on goalkeepers. I think he is so far the highest in terms of XG prevented of all the goalkeepers. So I can see him continue doing well for West Ham, at least in the near future. And he's still currently only like what Alphonse Oriola. He's only 4.2 million. So yeah. Liverpool Team League. Let me just refresh my timeline. No leaks at the moment, not that I can see. I think we still quite early for team leagues. Yeah, so we still have slightly less than 1 hour, but still a bit early for team leagues. I don't see any leaks at the moment. Although I did see this by FPL Main Road. Let me just share the screen. Share the screen. Yep, this one. This is his comment personally. This is where the Ruben Diaz bench rumors come in. Edison played at 3 a.m. on Wednesday in Uruguay. May explain why he wasn't in the shape. Work squad. Personally, I think he starts. Diaz hasn't been great in recent games. Stones and Akanji pace versus Brighton attack can fully understand his absence. So yeah, I think Stones back, sort of like introduces that rotation in terms of defense. So this is by Luke, which I rate very highly in terms of predictions for Man City lineup. This is his lineup. His defenders, he put Kyle Walker, Akanji, Guardiola, and then Stones, at the pivot role with Rodrigo. Jeremy Doku still starts ahead of predicted to start ahead of Grealish. Foden Alvarez starts, and then Bernardo Silva on the right side, and of course Haaland in front. So this is some of the. Sorry, let me just show on stream. Yep, this is his prediction. Wayne Ferris, should I sell Alvarez for Watkins? Wayne, for me, not this week. Not this week. Probably next week, but not this week. For me. Mohamed Nasir, Salah or Haaland for captaincy? Yeah, if you've joined us just now, for me, it's Haaland. But Salah is still a decent captaincy shout. It's not a bad one, but I would still go for Haaland because of ownership. Wilson, good punt. Isak did not train. Yes, he is a good punt because Isak did not train. For me personally, he's a good punt. But it also depends on who. Do you have any other the rest of the team? I think you have shared the rest of the team with us, right? I think this is the team that you shared. For me, like I said, I would punt. I would sell Saka to punt for a Liverpool attacker. Okay. So I think that's all we have at the moment today for today's stream. Really thank you, everyone. Really thank you for keeping me company today. So yeah, although I'm alone, I did alone, but thanks to you guys of your questions and your comments, I had a good time interacting with each and every one of you. And we have another 50 minutes to the deadline, and I wish you all green arrows everywhere, everyone green arrows. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how we wish everyone. Of course, there's no such thing as everyone green arrows, but for you who are watching, I hope you get a green arrow this week. So thank you, everyone, and all the best and good luck, and see you again. Bye-bye.